Hi everyone, it's Crazy Winter Moon. Sorry for the delay and updates for like a week. Um, I hit a bit of a snag in my editing, and I also got sick, so I hadn't felt like actually recording or editing since my other recording kind of like I said, I hit a snag in it. So I'm gonna still get that one out. Don't even worry about it. But I felt like I needed to record this to make up for it. So we are going to finish this. We are going to see the not the true end, the safe end, because I believe that is the path we had just come through. If I remember correctly, we left off. Where'd we leave off? We had gone through door 6 with Ace, Santa, June, and Junpei. And yeah, and I think that we found door 9. That's it. We found door 9, and that's where we stopped. So we're gonna go and start this.
これは一体何を意味するのか。簡単なことだ。つまり、ノナリーゲームとはそもそも初めから9人全員が助かるように設計されたゲームだった。
Right. So the Nonary game was designed because it had two number 9 doors, and both of them. So we could have saved all 9 people if we did a combination of 5 and 3, 5 and 4, and yeah, we would have gotten all of us out. All of us. Yep.
そういうことじゃないか。しっかりゼロは嘘はついていない。9の扉は1枚しかない。とは一言も言っていないからだ。それでも閉じ込められたプレイヤーたちは当たり前のように争いを始める。一方のチームがもう一方のチームを裏切り欺き、どうにかして蹴落とそうと試みる。場合によっては血が流れることだって、殺し合いが行われることだって。そうして生き残ったプレイヤーたちは最後にこの部屋へとたどり着き気づくんだ。
This statement right here is true but not true in a sense. Yes, most people would probably like realize that, oh my gosh, I didn't have to hurt that person, I didn't have to kill this person, we could have all made it out alive. But most people nowadays only look out for themselves, unfortunately. So being put in the situation, they don't know who to trust, they don't want to trust anyone. And if they figure there's only one way out and only 5 people can get out, they're gonna take out as many people as they can so that they're the only ones who can get out in the end. But most people would either realize after the fact that yes, they didn't have to hurt anyone, or they might not care and they would they'd just be like, oh well, less people we have to worry about trying to haul their way through these doors, or some BS like that. Anyway, let's continue on.
9の扉は2枚あった。殺し合いなんてする必要はなかったのだと。おそらくそういうゲームなんだ。このノナリーゲームというもの、幸いなことに俺たちの間では9の扉の争奪戦は行われていない。だが一歩間違えれば俺たちだって狂気に取りつかれていたのかもしれないんだ。
The thought of it sent a chill down his spine.
で、どうするよ、順平。
A voice broke through Junpei's frantic thoughts. Santa's voice.
おいおい、しっかりしてくれよ。悪い。たく、それでどうなんだよ。
どうって、
考えなきゃなんねえだろ。この先どうするべきか。
俺たちのバングルナンバーは1356で、その数字根は6。
だがそれだと9の扉を進むことができねえ。4人ではな。
4人ではってまさか。
そう3人でならたった一つだけ9の扉を進むことができる組み合わせがある。だから聞いてんだよ。どうするってな。
それは。
It took him no time at all to determine the answer. There was only one combination of 3 people that would give a digital root of 9. 1 plus 3 plus 5 equals 9. That would mean...
いや、ダメだ。引き返そう。
Chill, Junpei. That wasn't a possibility. Typos, I love them. I love them. He was willing to consider. Santa and Ace agreed.
だな。
私も賛成だ。紫君を置き去りにするわけにはいかない。
Junpei let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding.
いいんですか？私は別に残っても。
June's body betrayed her true feelings. Her eyes were wet with the beginnings of tears, and her legs shook.
いいんだよ。お前は何も気にしなくても。
Santa had said what Junpei had known the moment he realized which 3 people could go through the door.
野郎3人で脱出するくらいなら海の底に沈んだ方がマシだ。ひょっとしたら織姫様に会えるかもしれないしな。
Junpei, you fail at your own joke.
それを言うなら乙姫だろ。
ああ、そっか。
Facepalm if I could. Or facepalm if you could see me. Perhaps it was the sudden reassurance that no one wanted to leave June behind, but Junpei laughed harder than he had in some time. Santa and Ace smiled.
俊平君、サンタさん、一宮さん。
June blinked tears from her eyes and bit her lip. She didn't seem to know what else to say.
とにかくさっきのエレベーターに乗って C デッキに戻ろう。もしかしたら四つ葉セブンヤシロの3人が1の扉の探索から戻ってきてるかもしれない。
Even as Ace spoke, they knew finding the others wouldn't improve the situation.
でも合流したとしても7人じゃ。
Ace knew it. They all knew it.
だがここにとどまっていても仕方がないだろう。まずは他の3人と合流してなんとか打開策を見つけよう。
そうですね。
I'm gonna apologize in advance if my voice ends up breaking out every now and then. I have just about gotten over the sickness, but my throat was super dry for like 5 days. So I've got drinks near me for when my throat goes dry, but you know how that goes.
さあ行こう。
Ace looked at all 3 of them, then turned and headed through the door.
ああ。
はい。
Santa and June followed. Junpei started toward the door, then stopped.
そういえばこの部屋は一体何なんだ。
It didn't seem terribly important now, but what exactly was it?
9の扉のことばかりに気を取られていてまともに調べてなかったか。
A red carpet ran between 2 columns of wooden benches that ran the length of the room.
まるで何かの式場みたいだ。でも一体何。
Facing the 9 door was the carpet leading to the bow of the ship. And at the end Was it an altar, perhaps? There was a small rectangular alcove at the end of the carpet, and inside the alcove was a raised platform. Resting on the top of the platform was a coffin.
次どうしてこんなところに棺を
But before Junpei had time to answer that question,
おい順平、何やってるんだ、早くしろ。
Santa's voice echoed in from the hall outside. Santa, I'm investigating things.
ああ、わかった。今行く。
Junpei turned on his heel and left the quiet, somber room. Every time. I don't know what it is, but that sends shivers down my spine every time I hear it, even though I expect it. Ugh. They took the elevator up to C deck. Once there, they headed back toward the main hall and the central staircase. It didn't take them long.
俺は
Child, I love you, but you must stay quiet during this.
Seven にヤシロじゃねえか。
Seven and Lotus, but where is Clover? They didn't look happy.
困ったことになった。
四つ葉がいなくなっちゃったの。
Lovely. Junpei and his three companions looked at one another. He turned back to Seven and Lotus.
いなくなったって。どういうことだ。
Santa, Ace, and June had their own questions to ask.
いつ。
どうして。
君たちは四つ葉と一緒に一の扉に入ったんじゃなかったのか？
Who? What? When? Where? Why? How? Please, tell me. Tell me all the answers. Seven and Lotus responded as best they could.
確かに一緒に一の扉に入ったよ。
でも四つ葉はほとんど口を聞いてくれなくて。
ずっと単独行動を続けてたんだ、あいつは。
一の扉の先には合計で4つの部屋があったんだけど。
最後の4部屋目にあいつは入れてくれなくてな。
この部屋は私一人で十分だから。
My child, you must go frolic somewhere else, please. That hurt. She just dug her claws into my my leg. Not the most comfortable feeling in the world.
そう言ってドアを閉めちまったんだ。
内側には何かつっかえ棒のようなものまでされていて。
ところが待てど暮らせど四つ葉は出てこねえ。
声をかけても返事はなく。
そこで俺はドアを蹴破ることにしたんだ。
すると
中はもぬけの殻だった。
四つ葉の姿はなかったの。
正面の壁には一枚のドアが。
そのドアは開け放たれたままになってて。
おそらくたった一人で脱出しちまったんだろ
う。もちろん私たちはすぐに彼女の後を追ったわ。
だがご覧の通りだ。
四つ葉は完全に行方をくらましてしまったの。
Junpei thought for a moment.
それはいつのことだ。
俺たちがここに戻ってきたのはついさっきのことだ。
そしたらちょうどタイミングよくあなたたちが現れて。ということはこの大階段の周辺以外はまだどこも。
ああ、調べてね。
Finally, Ace spoke. His voice had an edge of resolve and concern.
よし、それじゃあ手分けして四つ葉を探すことにしよう。時間がない。早速だが捜索開始だ。
あ
There were quick nods all around, and the 6 remaining players spread out. Junpei and June ran to the large hospital room together. As quickly as they could, they searched around and under the beds and in the corners.
いないな。
いませんね。
念のためシャワー室も見ておくか。
シャワー室？
あそこには四つ葉の兄貴がいる。もしかしたら会いに行ったのかもしれない。
June bit her lip. She knew, as Junpei did, that there was only one thing to see in the shower room, and it wasn't pleasant.
とにかく見るだけでも見ておこう。さあ、行くぞ。
There was a screwdriver stuck between the door and the frame.
よし。まだ入れるな。
セブンさんのおかげですね。
Junpei and June slipped through the door and moved down the hallway and stepped into the shower room. There we go.
確か。
そうみたいですね。
June's voice was faint, and she placed her hands over her mouth. Her face looked a little green.
しかしひどい匂いだな。
Thank you, Junpei. The stench in the room was almost unbearable. It had grown far more unpleasant since their last visit. If Junpei had eaten lunch, he would have had a difficulty retaining it. He wanted to leave the room as soon as possible, but he had to be sure. And the only way to be sure was to check the other side of the divider.
念のため奥の方も見てくる。
June offered no resistance and nodded weakly to Junpei as he headed around the divider. He stopped at the corner and turned his head.
いないよな。
As he'd expected, Clover was nowhere to be seen. The only thing on the other side of the divider was a dead body, lying in a reddish-brown puddle of dry and drying blood.
イルス、どこにいるんだよお前の妹は。
Snake whispered to what once was Snake. He'd asked rhetorically, of course, as there was no way he'd get an answer. He gave a deep sigh.
しかし本当にひどいありさまだな。顔なんて原型をとどめてないし、左腕も骨が飛び出て。
Yes, let's talk about the dead body. We totally want to hear about its gruesomeness.
待てよ。
The bright white of the ulna was clearly visible through the remains of skin and muscle. Bright white. Ulna.
骨。
The pieces fell into place. Junpei remembered something Clover had told him in the laboratory.
兄ちゃんの左腕は普通の人とは違うの。事故の時に大怪我を負って。
そうだ。そうだよ。どうして今までこんな大事なことに気づかなかったんだ。
Clover had told Junpei that Snake's left arm was prosthetic. But the left arm of the corpse behind the divider was quite clearly a real human arm, or at least it had been once. That meant the corpse.
俊平くん？
June's unsure voice at Junpei's sudden strange behavior drew his attention back to her.
すまん。待たせたな。行こう。
And it continues. Junpei and June headed toward the large hospital room. They stepped through the door and out of the shower room. Down the hallway they went, searching for Clover in every corner. They had reached the stairs when Seven approached, breathless and yelling.
Junpei! Murasaki! 一体どこに行ってたんだ!
He looked pale, and his face was drawn. Something terrible had happened. Junpei's breath caught in his throat.
何かあったのか?
Seven drew a shaking hand across his face and gulped down a breath of air.
四つ葉が死んでたんだ。一等船室のバスルームで。
Hmm? All sounds ceased for Junpei. The world was an empty, muffled expanse. Then he began to hear his own breathing. Jun's mouth moved, but he heard nothing. She tried once more, and then her energy was gone, and she collapsed against the wall. He could have helped her, but he hadn't, and now she was dead. So he stood there, frozen in place.
四つ葉なぜだどうしてこんなことに
He forced his body to move. Each step felt like another nail pounded into his heart. Finally, he was in front of her. He knelt and placed 3 fingers against Clover's neck. No pulse. No breath. But she was still warm, and her eyes were closed peacefully. It would have been easy to think she was asleep. Easy, that is, were it not for the slowly expanding puddle of blood beneath her. He traced its source to her back. A gash just beneath her shoulder blade. Was the weapon a knife, perhaps? If it was a knife, the killer had taken it when they left. When he closed his eyes, he saw Clover's smile. Her innocent smile. Her energy. He would never see her smile again.
嘘だろ
He could have done something. He could have helped her. His stomach twisted itself into a sickening knot.
俺を紫
Junpei lifted a limp June from the floor and carried her from the bathroom. It was a foolish question, and he knew it. Her voice was weak. The fever had gone down, but the emotional scars she'd received were not likely to recede as quickly. Junpei laid his hand on her shoulder, and they walked back to the bedroom.
しばらく休んだ方がいいほらこのベッドだ座れるか
She nodded once and stared at the floor. There were 4 others in the room. Ace, Lotus, Santa, and Seven. They all stared at nothing, their faces drawn and tired. After a while, they drifted into the bathroom to see Clover's corpse themselves. Once everyone was back in the bedroom, Junpei walked slowly to the center of it and looked around as the slumped figures gathered there.
死体の第一発見者は
俺だよ
Seven spoke from behind Junpei. He turned around. Seven's hand was up.
どうしてこの部屋に
決まってるだろう四つ葉を探すためだするとバスルームの中に彼女の死体が俺は慌てて部屋を飛び出しみんなを呼んだカジノバーの脇にある階段の上そこから声を放ってなおいみんな来てくれ大変なことになった言った
I hate when I skip the text, but I hate when it stops halfway through the sentence. Why can't it just load the whole sentence?
俺はそれだけ告げてもう一度バスルームに引き返した一宮サンタヤシロの3人が飛び込んできたのはそれから間もなくのことだだがいくら待っても順平と紫が姿を現す気配はなかったそこで俺はお前ら2人を探すべくあの階段を駆け下りていってあとは言わなくてもわかるだろう
Junpei nodded and closed his eyes. There was one more thing he needed to ask.
セブン一つ気になってることがあるんだが
なんだ
お前この部屋の探索を終えて脱出した時、ドアの隙間に譜面のプレートを挟み込んでたよな。あれはなぜだ？どうしてあんなことを？
だから言っただろ、ロックがかからないようにするためだよ。いつでもこの部屋に戻ってこれるようにって。お前まさか俺のこと疑ってんのか？
さあどうだろうな。返答次第によっちゃ容疑者の最有力候補にもなりかねないぜ。
ったくよ。
Seven sighed and shook his head.
仕方ねえ、ついてきてくれ。
There were two doors standing next to one another. He opened the one on the right.
そこはクローゼットか？
ああ。
Seven stepped inside. He stood in front of one of the shelves that filled it and gestured toward a small box. The box was a small metal cube. He looked at Junpei.
理由はこいつにある。この金庫だ。結局部屋から脱出するまで俺たちはこいつを開くことができなかった。だがもしかしたら中に何か重要なもんでも隠されてるかもしれねえだろう。そう思うと気になって仕方がなくてな。ひょっとしたらいつかどこかでこいつのダイヤル番号が判明することになるかもわからねえ。そうなった時にわざわざ表の5の扉を開くのは面倒だ。だから出口の方の扉に譜面のプレートを。待ってな。
ああ。
Junpei nodded and looked at the safe. He grabbed the handle and shook it.
まあ開かないよな。
It's a safe, Junpei. It's not meant to open easily. It was as locked as it had been when Seven found it. There was one change, however.
これは
Just underneath the safe was a pile of fine, reddish-brown powder.
サビだ。
Junpei stared at it, considering.
ここにサビが落ちてるってことは誰かがこの金庫の扉を開いたってことか。